myself. I'm Preeti here. I have 14 plus years of experience into IT and more than 8 years of experience into DevOps. I have online training experience as well as corporate training experience for in DevOps as well. And currently I'm working as a DevOps lead for a company wherein I'm working on multiple projects and different technologies. So my experience and exposure to different technologies and expertise will definitely help you to reach your goal. All right. Let me explain you the agenda of this course. This course is designed for everyone. Means anyone whoever interested to work on this DevOps skill set can get enrolled into this course. It's not a beginner course. It's not an advanced. I don't want to name the course as such because this course is the one which will help you to work in your projects independently and confidently. This will also help you add your resume weightage after learning this course, right? This will help you get edge over others in DevOps technology. How is that possible and all we'll discuss. And no background needed. Like you don't need to have coding background or else you don't need to have only ops background. As such, nothing as such. I have trained more than like thousands of people. Like I'm doing this online training as well as corporate training from 2017 or so, particularly in DevOps. So 2017 or 2016, I believe, before that as well, mostly around 2016. So I have seen people who are coming from different backgrounds, from science, from pharmacy, for mathematical backgrounds. People from completely different streams could also switch over to the DevOps with this course, right? So this course will help everyone because in this course, I'll be going from the basics till the advanced concepts so that you can work in the projects. What concepts are needed, what methodologies or what are the tools, what are the hands-on, what are the scenarios a person should know to work or to claim an experience in DevOps. Those are all the things that will be covered. So this course is custom designed by me, which suits the needs for everyone. So if you are completely from different backgrounds, you can leave all those hesitations and just sit with an open mind, dedicated with your time and effort. That's all needed for the course. I need your time. I need your dedication. I need open mind from you to learn anything. It's just take it like a new topic. Okay, that's all. You are learning some new subject. That's all. You don't need to have those skills or these skills, nothing. Everything will be taught from the basics, like I told, from the basics till the advanced concepts, whichever needed. Right? So that's the first thing I want to make clear. And when I said we go from the basics, be it any topic or any tool, we will go from the scratch. Like what is it, how it is, and like where we use it, what are the advantages. So today in particular, I'll be talking about an overview of the course. Like first we'll be trying to understand what is DevOps, why DevOps, what are the roles and responsibilities of a DevOps person, what are the skills a DevOps person should have. All of this will be going through where you can get a clarity of the agenda of the course, right? So at regular intervals, I'll be taking your queries. So you can feel free to please keep muted unless you have a question so that it avoids background noise from anyone. So shall we begin understanding what is DevOps? Yeah. Yep. So let us talk about what is DevOps, why DevOps came in. I believe here we are having participants who might have got idea of what is DevOps and all, or else who might be completely new to it. So like I said, assuming that everyone is new, let us learn with clarity from the basics. So what is DevOps? Why do we need it? Why it came a buzzword from the couple of years? Right? Why everyone is after DevOps? Why should we learn it? Let's get a clarity on these things today. I'm sharing my screen. Hope you all can see the black screen.
Yeah, it's showing DevOps overview.
Black screen. Can you see the black screen now?
Yes, now.
All right. Yes, so now let's talk about, thank you all for confirming. Now let's talk about what is DevOps, right? By seeing this term itself, we can understand it's a combination of development and operations, right? What is this development and operations? Development, like majority of you might be knowing what is development, but let me just give a one liner here to proceed to get into the actual subject. So development, let's say, let's talk about an application in the real world. Any application, if you take, there were so many people who work for this application, right? So many teams will be there, so many technologies will be used and all, right? Out of all of those, the major teams or the main teams we can look at are the development team, right? Testing team and the operations team, isn't it? Let's talk about an online shopping application, whatever it is. Yeah, let's talk about an online shopping application or else any networking application, whatever it is. So development team is nothing but where developers are involved, developers or programmers, whatever you call them, who write the code, means who work in building the application, right? So they write the logic, they write the code in whatever language is the requirement. That's all a different story, which language and all. So developers are programmers, write the code, develop the application. They work for building the application. And there is also another team involved called QA or a testing team, correct? Who will test the application. And again, when you talk about testing, again, there are different ways. Manually, they'll test it, automation with automation, right? Automation testing is there, manual testing is there, again, different levels, tools are there, whatever it is. So they are called as QA professionals or test engineers, correct? So they will test the application. And there is something called ops team. Ops teams are nothing but system admins, right? Network technicians, DBA, all of them may be considered as ops, right? What are the tasks? Like developers write the program, they design the application, they develop the application. QA team will test the application. Ops team will provide the infrastructure required by the both the teams, correct? Meaning, let's suppose developers need some new operating system. Let's say they need some Linux OS, or else they need some new service, right? So any services, any networks, any changes to the infrastructure they need, either development team or QA team, they would request the ops teams, right? Ops team would serve their request, right? Means where they will make the changes as requested by dev team. Means basically operations can be considered as infra management, right? In short, we can say, yeah, they will support the infrastructure. Either development team or QA team, if they need any changes to the infra, that will be provided by ops teams. Right? That's how it works in the traditional approach. In general, this is how these three teams work. Of course, there are many other teams at the back end which work for the application. We are using some application
And
today.
it's
Yes. We are using some application today as an end user, means at the back end, so many teams work. And these are the major teams we were talking about. Now let's take a simple example. Development team needs some change in the operating system. Let's say they want to upgrade their OS, right? Let's say now how do they achieve it? They would request the ops teams. Ops teams should serve their request. During this process of serving these requests, ops teams will do lot many checks. They have to do lot of checks, right? Before they make any change. They would see that if this change is leading to any server crash or else any service going down, right? Or else any network connected network going to be disconnected. They'll check all these things before they do any changes. Obviously, which takes lot of time. And here, developers are still waiting for the change they need. Right? They were still waiting because they need this upgrade so that they could develop something or they could test something. So developers are waiting and ops teams were taking some time. Right? And these two teams, or else let's say QA team also separately, these three teams each have means their core skills are different. Their areas of expertise are different, isn't it? See, developers would know some programming languages, correct? They would know some programming languages. They may have some build automation tool knowledge. They may have some DB knowledge and all. Ops teams will have deployment knowledge, the infrastructure management and all. Their areas of expertise, their core skills are different. So what is happening here? Developers don't understand why the ops team is taking so much time to serve the request. Similarly, ops teams doesn't understand why do developers need all these changes. Correct? Means they don't know, they don't understand each other properly because of their areas of expertise are different, their skill set is different. Right? So here there arises the gap between the teams. Here, see, when I say two teams, QA also I'm included with development. So when I say development, let's imagine QA also there. I have included them together. Okay. So basically each team has got their own skill set. They don't understand challenges of others, challenges, requirements, how they work. So they have some gap between them. Means there is no proper understanding, there is no proper collaboration between the teams. So there is a gap. How to overcome this gap between the teams? Any solution to this? Teams should collaborate well. They should work with proper collaboration, proper understanding, right? But there is no as such because developers always looks for agility in the infrastructure. Means they need some changes in the infrastructure to perform their task. Ops teams would always look for stability in the infrastructure because they need to make sure the infrastructure is always available, always stable, and end users can access the application always. So their responsibilities are different, their core skills are different, they don't understand challenges of others, they are working like two separate teams entirely. There is a gap between them. How to overcome this gap? Yeah, anyone? How to overcome this gap? See, I am talking about why DevOps, right? Whenever we are learning something, first we should address why is this needed. Then we will talk about what is it and so on. So I'm talking about why DevOps came in. One of the reasons is, yes, there is a gap between the teams. There is no proper understanding between them. Is that the only reason? No, there were other reasons as well. The second reason is whenever application is ready, okay, let's say developers have developed the application, testers have tested it, right? And testers, when they find the bugs, what they will do? What they will do? Who will fix the bugs? Let's say developers developed the application and it was sent to testers for testing. Testers have tested it. What next? Like let's say they found some bugs, they found some defects. What will they do?
Again, they will send it back to the developers.
Again,
to
that
fix
will
the
be
bug.
sent back to the
Yes, yes.
developers. This process keep on continuing till the application is defect free, till the application is bug free, right? So once this is done, I'm talking about traditional approach. Remember, I'm talking about traditional approach, not DevOps approach. So once the application is completely ready, they will hand over it to ops teams, right? This is called release, means they will release the application. So now it's ops team's responsibility to provide it to end users by deploying it, right? They have to run this application on some servers so that end users can access it. But this deployment takes a lot of time because ops teams have to configure the infrastructure, right? They have to check which versions of software. So let's talk about simple example. Let's say it's a Java application. So they have to see which versions of Java should be there, or else at the back end, something else might be needed, a DB might be needed, a Tomcat might be needed. So what are all the compatible versions of the software? Correct. They have to check all of these things before they deploy the application, right? Correct. They will do all these things. They have to check all of this. And also this developers and QAs, when they hand over the application norms, they'll also hand over the document, instruction document, like what versions of software should be there and how to configure. Even they'll provide the steps. But those steps might not be working sometimes, right? Or else those steps might be, some of the steps might be missing. Whatever, they have to fix all of these things, sort it out. Finally, they have to see that application is running. Also, they should see that application is highly available, right? Application should not have any downtime. So ops teams have to work on all these things and deployment takes a lot of time here, right? Deployment is taking huge time. Let's say application is handed over to us on September. It might be released in January, next January or February. It's taking couple of months, right? So deployment is very slow. Like end users need that. Maybe a client needs to deliver the application very quickly, but the process is having a lot of delay here. Right? Again, the reason is each team is having their own skill set, their core skills, core competencies are different. Right? Because the instruction document provided by this team may not be properly understood by ops team, or else sometimes they might not be working. They have to sort out all of this. Finally, the application should be deployed. So it's a time-taking process. Means deployment is delayed. Right? That's another reason. So how to solve this problem again? Automation. How is it automated? Through DevOps strategies and DevOps methodology. How we will talk separately. Okay, first let me list the problems. So deployment is delayed. This is the second problem. Are you all with me following? Any questions from anyone? You can
Okay,
unmute
good.
and speak out, or else you can message in the chat window. Yes?
Good to go.
It's clear. It's clear.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you all for confirming. So yeah, this is the second reason. Third reason is, yes, applications were deployed in the traditional SDLC methodology. Right? What is SDLC?
Madam, I have one doubt.
Yes, please tell me.
Madam, these are the HA and the infrastructure. Who will identify like a operation team or else developers?
Which one? Which one?
Just you erase that one.
High availability
Yeah.
and all?
Yes. Yes.
High availability and all will be taken care by ops teams in the traditional approach. Now DevOps teams. Okay, we will be talking about DevOps. DevOps team will be taking care of it.
Sure.
All right, so let's talk about the traditional methodology, traditional SDLC. What is SDLC first of all?
Software development life cycle.
Software development life cycle. If anyone new here, completely new here, you don't need to worry. It's nothing but now you will learn. If something is new, now you are learning. No need to worry. Software development life cycle. You don't need to learn this. Just understand it's nothing but development life cycle is nothing but which will have different phases or activities involved, like requirement gathering. To develop an application, these are the different phases. First, requirements should be gathered, then requirement analysis, then design, right? Then you have coding, testing, delivery, and maintenance. These are the different phases involved in the application development, right? Delivery and maintenance. And here, if you notice, these phases goes one after the other. One after the other meaning like only after requirement gathering analysis begin, after analysis design, after design coding and so on. There is no going back. Right? There is no going back. And yeah, you might have identified, yes, I'm talking about typical waterfall methodology, right? It has got different names and this is called as waterfall methodology, the typical methodology which served the industry for decades, right? This served the industry for decades, but it has got it posed lot of challenges to both development and ops teams. See, it just goes in one direction, hence the name waterfall. What is meant by one direction? See, there is no going back. Suppose developers started coding. Let's say client came with new requirements or changes in the requirements. That cannot be handled here, right? Only it just goes in one direction, right? That's called waterfall methodology. Both the development team and ops team face challenges because of this. Like what are the challenges dev team faced? First challenge is this is very slow methodology. Means let's say coding is completed this October. Testing may begin in the next June or next February or March, right? During this time, developers will be working on new code. Then testing begin after 6 months. Then testers comes with the bugs in the old code, right? Meanwhile, developers are working on some other new code. They have to work on new code. Also, they have to fix the bugs in the old code which they have developed 6 months back. It will be very difficult to handle this scenario, working on new code, fixing the bugs in the old code. Developers will have a lot of pressure. Also, testing becomes expensive as it is delayed. So it's a very slow methodology. One of the reasons, one of the drawbacks. And second one is it's not flexible. Like I said, right, it just goes in one direction. Let's say you got the requirements in 2023. They'll be freezed, that's all. And the complete product may take 2 years. The requirements which we got in 2023 will be delivered in 25. Client doesn't need it anymore because today it's a customer facing world. Business changes rapidly, right? You have to be able to face the requirement changes, modifications continuously. If that's not possible, it doesn't work anymore in reality. Correct? So that's another challenge. It can't accommodate new changes, new requirements, modifications. No, it just goes in one direction. Also, complete software will be done all at once. Means, see, only after complete coding testing begins. It's not like parallelly happening. If only after complete coding testing begins, testing takes lot of time. Even they'll, like I said, the first point, they'll come with the bugs in the old code.
7.
Yes. Anything from your end, Vicky? If no questions, please keep muted. So,
Yeah, I'm extremely.
complete software will be delivered all at once. So it doesn't work in anymore in reality nowadays. So that's some of the challenges developers face. Similarly, ops teams also face challenges like they have to maintain the server uptime for longer duration because it's a slow. They have to maintain servers up and running for longer duration, which is again a challenge, right? Maintaining the servers for longer duration. Also, poor configuration management. Configuration management is a separate concept. Okay, it's a separate chapter which we'll be dealing in our course. Here, just understand, let's say you have 1,000 servers. You need to install something on a particular server or else something went wrong on a server. If you are doing everything manually, no proper control, no proper handling the infrastructure, right? So poor configuration management. We will take up it as a separate subject. Just I'm giving a one-liner here. And also monitoring is manual. If you want to monitor the health of the server services, you need to have a continuous monitoring tool. But without that, manually monitoring would be a challenge, right? These are the challenges posed by some traditional methodologies. So how to overcome those challenges posed by traditional software methodologies? Yeah, these are all some of the reasons why DevOps came in. Yeah. So these are so to overcome all these challenges, DevOps came in. But before going to that, let me tell you, in between there came Agile methodology. See, the idea is not to teach you SDLC or Agile, just to understand, for you to really appreciate the importance of DevOps. I'm talking about this. Actually, to overcome the drawbacks of waterfall, another methodology called Agile came in. But Agile was successful to certain extent. Means it was successful to like in overcoming these challenges of developers. But challenges of ops team was still there with Agile, right? They were still there. That's why Agile could not overcome all the challenges. That's where DevOps came in. But as we were talking about Agile, it was successful to a certain extent. But how? Like, how could it overcome the challenges of developers? Because it implemented continuous releases or frequent releases. Every week or alternative week, there will be a release, right? Every week there will be a release. Means code is not developed and developed completely and delivered after 2 years. Every week or every alternative week they release the code. Means code is developed in bits and parts, right? Also testing became faster. How testing could become faster? Testing is done immediately. Let me tell you. Let's suppose it's a week 1. Okay, development begin. They developed a chunk of code called A. Okay, a bit of code. Let's say a part of code. On week 2 immediately, this A will go for testing. That particular set of code will be tested. Meanwhile, developers are not sitting idle. They were developing another chunk of code B. And on week 3, again this B will be tested. Developers will be writing another set or another bunch of code. And at some point on week 4, if you notice, all of this will be combined and tested. That's make the complete product, isn't it? All of them will be integrated and tested. So if you notice here, if you see every week, development, testing, both are happening parallelly, continuously, right? Because of this, let's say a code is developed this week. Immediately it is being tested next week, right? So that's what it means. Testing became faster. Also, it could be identified and fixed very quickly because it was just developed last week, right? Testing became faster. Every week there is a release. always the code is stable and ready for release. Because see, yeah, every week development testing are happening. So here what happened is developers or testers are working hand in hand, both in collaboration by understanding each other. Because it's happening parallelly, they communicate frequently, they collaborate well, they understand each other's requirements. It doesn't mean that testers will write the code, testers will also know how to write the code. No, everyone does their task, but they're working with proper collaboration, proper understanding, right? So that is what is called continuous development, continuous testing. The term continuous is important, means parallelly, continuously. Continuous integration. Integration means any new code developed will be merged into the system and tested, which is called continuous integration. Continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, right? This is what is implemented in Agile, and it was successful to certain extent. But again, deployment is happening all at once. It's not automated. So ops teams challenges were still there. That's where DevOps came in. Am I clear till this much? Anyone, any questions or confusions? Anything should I repeat, or you all following me?
We can good to go. Good to go.
Thank you. Thank you, Manoj, for confirming. How about others? Are we all good?
Yeah,
A
we're
thumbs
good
up
to
will
go.
also help me. All right. So these are some of the reasons why DevOps came in, right? So now what is DevOps? Now that we understood all the challenges, let's talk about what is DevOps. So DevOps is nothing but it's a process, it's a methodology. Okay, it's a methodology of continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, along with the continuous deployment and continuous monitoring. Means yes, code is developed. Okay, code is ready. It is integrated. It will be also deployed through the process of automation. No manual intervention here. From the desk of a developer, let's say developer wrote some code, till it goes to the production table, the whole process is automated, which is called DevOps. The whole process till it goes to production table, the whole process automated, and this process is called DevOps. The process of automating the code from desk of a developer till the production table is called DevOps. Of course, in between so many stages are there: continuous testing, different levels of testing. Again, it would be first deployed to lower level environments, then it goes to production. It's not directly going to production, but so many stages involved, but everything is automated. So that's what is DevOps, the complete process of automation before your code goes to production. After development, once developer wrote the code, okay, till it goes to production, the entire process in between can be automated, which is called DevOps. How can it be automated? By using automation tools. Automation, right? It's a methodology. There were a lot of tools involved in here which helps us in the process. So who can become a DevOps person? Anyone who knows this process of automation can become a DevOps person. See, understand here, because it is happening continuously. All of these stages are happening continuously, parallelly, right? These teams work with proper collaboration, proper understanding. Developers understand what are the challenges of dev teams. Developers understand what are the challenges of developers, why they need those changes and all. They are working with proper collaboration, proper understanding. It doesn't mean that DevOps person should know writing the code. There is still a separate development team. They will write the code. Still there is a separate QA team. They will write the test cases. They will write the automation test scripts. But a DevOps person should be able to run those test cases automatically, integrate them in the pipeline, and could deploy to the production servers after deploying to the lower level environments. This is what is called DevOps.
Madam, what kind of test cases go for DevOps? It is related to the manual or automation?
Automation testing. Again, separate testers will be there. DevOps team or developers will not write those. Separate testing team will be there. Automation test cases they will write. They should integrate them in the CI/CD pipeline. So to integrate them in the CI/CD pipeline, that's again DevOps task. Means developers will hand over the code, testers will hand over the test cases. you as a DevOps person should be integrating all of them and automate the whole process. That's what is called CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous delivery pipelines. Right? So whoever interested in this automation process can be a DevOps person. Let me give an example. Suppose you are a developer. You have worked for 10 years. Now you are interested in this automation process. So if you know this DevOps methodology, DevOps strategies, yes, you can work. You will be working in this stage, not into the development now. Let's say you will be fitting in here, right? Similarly, you are completely from a science background. You don't know you don't need to know development. Developers will give the code. Testers will give the test case. You should learn this process, the DevOps methodologies, DevOps strategies, right? Where to use which tool. This is what we'll be learning as a DevOps. Got it, all of you? Right?
One
So what
question,
is...
what's the difference? Sorry to interrupt you.
No problem.
DevOps is there. So understand about the DevOps. And what is like DevOps do with an AWS and Azure? So there are different clouds, I know that. But DevOps is different, Azure DevOps is different, DevOps AWS is different, right?
I'll talk about it,
Different
Daniva.
DevOps is on that.
Got your question. Just give me a few minutes. Okay, in couple of minutes, I'm going to come to that point, right? Okay, so DevOps is nothing but the continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous monitoring. Everything is automated. So whoever work in this process of automation, whoever interested, they should learn the DevOps methodologies, DevOps strategies, DevOps tools, so that they can become a DevOps person. Right? That's what is DevOps. If you want me to compare this with other methodologies, like let's compare this with other methodologies which we have seen, like waterfall and agile. Let me tell you. See, if you talk about waterfall methodology, yes, there were main phases like development. After development only testing begins, right? After testing, then deployment, and then monitoring, right? And then if you talk about agile, like here parallelly development testing are happening. So continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, but deployment is after that and then monitoring. But now with DevOps, these are happening parallelly, like continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, and then continuous deployment and monitoring. That's the difference, right? And also here in waterfall, 3 teams were working as in silos, in separation, as a separate team, like Q development, QA, ops teams, right? There were 3 separate teams. There is no proper collaboration. But in Agile, these 2 teams were brought together because of continuous development, continuous testing. They were communicating better. They were working with a proper collaboration. In DevOps, even all these 3 teams brought together with a proper collaboration, proper understanding, right? So that's what is DevOps. Also, let me tell you, every scenario. I told you, like development team, QA team hand over the application to ops teams, and they were struggling with setting up the infrastructure to bring the application available, right? So what DevOps did is, the way they hand over the application also changed. Means earlier developers, let's say if you talk about Java, they were directly giving that var file to ops teams. They have to deploy this var file or jar file by checking all the compatibilities. But now the way they hand over the application, the way they package their application also changed with the Docker, one of the great DevOps tools. Am I making sense how it is getting changed? Right? I'm repeating. Developers earlier used to hand over the artifacts directly, like a var file or a jar file, whatever, if it is Java application or some other PHP, they hand over the code directly. But now developers were containerizing the application and handing over that Docker image to ops teams. So that ops team need not work with the compatibilities and all. They could deploy it very faster. That's how deployment became faster. This DevOps has increased the velocity of deployments. Deployments became faster because of this. Am I making sense? How exactly Docker is used and all we will learn separately, but I'm just trying to give you an overview. Understood the point? Means the way they package the application also changed. Here, one more point to note. Means not only DevOps team, others also should learn DevOps. Meaning, let's say you are a developer. You still want to continue as developer because you have passion for development. You really like development. You don't need not to become a DevOps person, isn't it? Isn't it? Everyone need not become DevOps person. Developers also need it. So you still want to continue as developer, but the way you package your application has changed. You can't just give it a var file or just give that code directly. You have to containerize it. Means you should know Docker. Means not only whoever interested in DevOps strategies, even developers or testers should learn DevOps, at least certain DevOps tools like Docker. They should have certain idea about the build automation. Of course, they have build automation tools knowledge, but yeah, certain tools like Docker, they should know. Kubernetes, they should have some idea, right? So that's how deployments became faster. The gap is overcome. They were working together with the proper collaboration continuously. So this problem has overcome. Deployments will become faster. Also, the traditional challenges are overcome because of this. So now they can accommodate new changes, new requirements and all. So all these challenges overcome. And also that's what client need, right? They want faster deployments. They need their application reaching the end users very quickly. That's why every company is going after this DevOps. Almost all the gigantic companies like Facebook, Netflix, all of them have already are already implementing it. Now even small companies, mid-scale companies, even the startups were going forward for this because of this. It can be applications reaches the end user very quickly. That's what the client needs. Also because everything is automated, no manual errors, right? You can expect qualitative products. How and all exactly we'll zoom into each section like continuous integration, continuous testing. You will understand how that happens and all. As it is a first day, we will talking theoretically. We will be doing hands-on begins from tomorrow itself, like that's the next day itself. You will see all of this practically. So deployments became faster, right? In couple of years, by 2025, every company will be into it. Of course, now almost everyone is into it. Still, by 2025, everyone should know DevOps. Yes, it's automation. Means lot of things were automated. The strongest person with these skills will survive in the market. It's a right time to invest your time, effort, and learn such tools and technologies to sustain in the market. Right? Everyone should learn this. Also, have you ever wondered if you take Facebook or Amazon, any live applications, you could see some features overnight. Also, the features, because let's say some pandemic happened, immediately you can see a new feature tomorrow. Like let's say it would be like, okay, because of this pandemic, we are blocking certain deliveries, certain regions, delivery was blocked kind of in Amazon shopping application. Do you remember and can recollect such things, right? Immediately, how could they deliver the features to the end users? Yes. How is that possible? That's what is DevOps. It's not that you take some 6 months to deliver some features, right? And overnight they could deliver the features. Facebook is a best example for it. Facebook implements continuous deployments. You could see, means there are applications where the features, where the new code hit the production servers through automation, complete automation, no manual intervention. There are many applications as such. That's possible because of this DevOps. Got it, everyone? Any questions? What is DevOps? Got an overview?
Yeah, ma'am.
So how is it implemented? How to implement DevOps? That's what is this course for, right? We will be doing complete hands-on with the practical scenarios. Complete CI/CD pipelines will be built from the scratch, right? Complete CI/CD pipelines will be built from the scratch on multiple applications. Also, as we go by, we'll be zooming to each section in the same way. Let's suppose we will start Git from the next class. First, we will learn what it is, the architecture from the basics till the advanced concepts, so that you can answer and work on Git independently. Same is the case with any tool. Also, you could handle your interviews. You could clear your interviews. That's a main goal. Any questions?
Madam, DevOps implemented in waterfall model. Is it possible?
Can you repeat, please?
DevOps are implemented in waterfall model. Is it
Waterfall
possible?
is a different methodology. DevOps is a methodology. DevOps came in to overcome the challenges of waterfall. It's not a waterfall methodology. It's another methodology, right?
Yes.
So this is what we were talking about, big picture of DevOps, roles and responsibilities. A person should be able to work on it at any phase in this CI/CD pipeline, right? So those are the roles and responsibilities. Let's go through this. See, this is the presentation, like a notes for your reference will be shared to you. I'll talk about what are all the things you will get from this course. So this is what we have learned in the beginning, DevOps, waterfall, drawbacks. This you can use like a read over after the class. Why DevOps came in, we have discussed what is DevOps, the differences we have discussed, right? Design, coding, testing, deployment. In Agile, they goes in parallel, hand in hand, parallelly. Again, Agile with continuous deployment, which is DevOps. And roles and responsibilities. Anyone, whoever working in this part of automation, right, is a DevOps person, and you have to fix the pipelines, you have to add new stages, integrations, all of these are the tasks which a DevOps person will be working. How you will get those tasks also, I'll explain. There might be some ticketing tool or tools like a Jira, ServiceNow and all, where you'll have the task sprint, you'll have a call where your task will be assigned by your lead or manager, right? We will discuss all of them as we go by. So what are the skills a person should know? See, these are all the tools we'll be covering in this course. Version control system like Git, build automation tool Maven. Just a second. Okay, and then continuous integration tool Jenkins, containerization tool Docker. Of course, Docker, there's a lot of content like Docker, Docker Compose, Docker Swarm, and also Ansible and Terraform, Kubernetes, and for monitoring Prometheus and Grafana. Prometheus is a monitoring tool, Grafana is a visualization tool, and we will be implementing this DevOps on cloud. Now, as some of the participant has some question, let me clear you. See, DevOps is a methodology or a strategy. Okay, DevOps is a methodology. It could be implemented on any environment. Means, listen here carefully, any environment means it could be clients, it could be companies' own data center. They might be having their own data center, means their own physical servers or virtual machines. You can implement DevOps there also. Means you will have a Jenkins server, you will have a Kubernetes cluster on these VMs. You will create a CI/CD pipeline there. Or this CI/CD pipeline can be created on any cloud as well. Means they might have their infrastructure on cloud, right? What is cloud? If you want to tell me, cloud is nothing but a like online service through which you can get your infrastructure, right? It's an online management system from where you can have your infrastructure created, right? It could be Azure or AWS or Linode. There were hundreds of cloud providers were there, right? DigitalOcean, so many are there, right? So they may have their infrastructure on any cloud. So you will implement the same CI/CD pipeline on the infrastructure on cloud. That's all. The platform, the environment is different. That's it. So here my course will help you implement DevOps on any platform. Okay, it could be implemented on cloud, or it could be implemented on prem. If you take up this course, you will be able to implement DevOps on any platform. Now, coming to, you might have heard about AWS DevOps, Azure DevOps and all. Those are different clouds, isn't it? If you learn one cloud, working with other clouds would be similar. That's what even companies were expecting. Let's say you are working on AWS. Yes, they expect that you may work on Azure, you may work on GCP, you may work on Linode, DigitalOcean, anywhere. That's the expectation of the companies. It's not that you learn every cloud, because even though you learn all the clouds, tomorrow another cloud will be coming up. So companies are looking for people who are flexible, who can work, because they're all similar. If you know AWS, you can work on Azure easily, right? So here I am showing you DevOps in such a way that you could implement it on-prem, you could implement it on any cloud. As an example, I'm taking up AWS. That's all. Azure DevOps, they were naming the courses as such because they were showing it on Azure. That's all. It's not Azure DevOps is separate, AWS DevOps is separate. There will be some services on every cloud which are more helpful for DevOps. Like in AWS, They were code commit, code build, code deploy, which will help in creating this pipeline. Similarly, Azure will have its own services. But if you know those services on AWS, you can work on the similar service on Azure as well. Right? That's all. But the concept, the methodology, the CI/CD pipeline, the tools remain same. How you work with the tools also remains same. But where your infrastructure is running will be different. Am I clear? Hope you got the answer. Let me
Ma'am,
give.
what all be is earning in AWS services? Which all the services we are going to learn?
It is there in the course content. I'll also show you that. Okay, in few minutes, I'll also take you to that. So here, let's talk about Kubernetes service on AWS. It's called EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. Similar service was there in Azure. It's called AKS, Azure Kubernetes. Similar service is there on GCP also, Google Cloud also, GKE. You don't need to learn all of that. Companies are not expecting you know all of this. If you know any one of this, that's fine. You can work on anything else, right? They're all Kubernetes services. Similarly, like every cloud will have similar services. So if you know one cloud, if you know implementing DevOps on-prem means you could implement on cloud also. But here I'm showing you the on-prem approach, means on your own data center as well as on cloud. Okay, so what are all the services needed as a DevOps engineer from a cloud? Those services I'm covering. I'll also take you over through those services in few minutes. Clear with this part, everyone? Am I clear? And one more thing, here any tools, the point in choosing Git here, or else you might be having question why we have choose Git. There were so many tools again under this category, like so many version control systems like SVN, TFS, so many version control systems are there. If you learn Git, you can work on any other tools again. You don't need to learn all of them, not possible, not required also. If you learn one tool under each category, if you expertise it, you can work on any other tool. That's what even companies are expecting, right? Another thing is here, like I have chosen Git because it's a market leader. It's very widely used than any other tool. Similarly, Docker is a very widely used tool. Kubernetes. I am picking up the market leaders so that you have more exposure, you have more chances of getting into the projects as they were, like you were learning the tools which were widely used. Even though it's SVN, you can very easily switch over to that, right? So that's one thing. Another thing is, yes, we need a Linux knowledge here. Certain DevOps tools will be working on the Linux environment is needed. So yes, we'll be learning Linux again from the basics to whatever needed for our DevOps. So even that will be covered. If you are completely new to Linux, you don't need to worry. We will take up everything from the scratch. Okay. So those are things about tools. Good to go? Any questions?
Yeah, actually, I have a questions so normally it is Git, Maven, Jenkins. These are the tools what we are configuring to automate the process. So do you need to go through each let's say Git is a tool for developers who put their code and create branches, all kind of things. So do we need to learn those things to?
See, Git is not used only by developers. That's a wrong notion. Because even DevOps person or ops teams have got lot of configuration files. They will have lot of configuration files. Kubernetes manifest files will be there. Terraform files will be there. All those files should be version controlled. So everyone should know Git. I'll talk about it separately again in the next class. Why you
No,
need
I just mean to say, or not only Git. So I just want to know that do we need to learn every tool at the point of developer, or is only required for the configuration?
Every tool will be learning from the DevOps perspective. Okay. We are not learning as a developer. We will be learning from the perspective of DevOps. Like if you talk about Jenkins, every DevOps person should know Jenkins mandatorily, Docker mandatory, Kubernetes mandatory. Not that every project may be using all of them, but you should know all these tools. Let's say you already have a project, you are using only Ansible and Kubernetes, you can concentrate or you can expertise on those tools. But as a DevOps person, it is good to have this skill set. Or else, let's say you just want to work in monitoring part, you master and learn Prometheus and Grafana. You pick up the tools out of them depending on your job description or depending on your project requirement. And there is a question from Sai Babu, why use Linux? Linux is needed because certain tools here listed, some of the tools definitely should be installed only on Linux. That's the reason we should know Linux. Also, we will be building CI/CD pipelines mostly on Linux servers because of their efficiency. We will talk about why Linux also. Yes, we will discuss that in a separate topic. But in short, that's the answer. And Arhan says, will be covering any testing tool, also any code check like SonarQube. Like I already said, DevOps person will not do testing. There is a separate testing team. If you learn testing tool, what will the testers do? Right, Alan? Logical, right? There's a separate testing team. If you are also DevOps person also learning and doing testing, what will testers do? So testers will be separate. There are separate testing team. You will not learn any testing tool here. The testers will write the test cases. What you will learn is how to run those test cases automatically in the CI/CD pipeline. That part we will be learning in this course. Okay, code check, all of this will be done by developers. How to integrate it in the pipeline, we will learn. Am I making sense?
Ma'am,
Amit,
prerequisites
complete
for this course.
Kubernetes will be 1 second, please. There is a question from Amit. Can you please give more understanding on Kubernetes? Amit, at this point, giving or explaining Kubernetes will not be possible. Kubernetes is a vast subject. We will be spending some weeks on Kubernetes, where we'll be learning from the basics till complete deployments in the real approach, like different deployment strategies, lot of things we'll be learning there. But remember, Kubernetes is for high availability of your application and automatic scaling. All those advanced concepts are possible in Kubernetes, right? No need to learn Java or Python. We are not developers, Abud Shah. Python will not be covered. Python is not mandatory skill for DevOps person. It's a good to have. Will not be covering Python here. Shell scripting will be covered, Mohammed, to the extent whatever required. Jenkins is used for CI/CD. Which tool is used for what? We will be discussing that. SonarQube is for code coverage, code analysis, or code reviews. Developers will be using it. Python is not required, Mohammed. It's not a mandatory skill for DevOps. Yes, Helm packages will be covered, Sudhakar. Helm will be covered.
How many days for this?
DevOps will not end, Vicky. If you heard that, that's completely incorrect. DevOps will not be ending because lot of things were automated because of DevOps. Many companies, many applications are completely dependent on DevOps.
Yeah, Preeti, this is Srinath. Like, what we can say that our role is a DevOps role, or like we can say like as infrastructure or cloud engineer roles all comes under as part of DevOps engineer role. Like those are the different
DevOps
roles.
person, I already explained, like if you are working in the process of automation, once code is ready, once test cases are ready, you will be able to taking this to deployment, taking this to production automatically. If you are working in this part, that's called a DevOps engineer. There were different designations, different designations given by different companies, right? They might be saying DevOps engineer, principal engineer, or DevOps architect, so many things. But read the job description to understand what is the role about. They might be calling the same as cloud engineer because they were implementing DevOps on cloud. So don't just come to a conclusion by seeing the designation. You should understand the job description to see what is the role about.
Okay, thank you.
So see here, this is the CI/CD pipeline I'm talking about. See,
How many
once
days for this?
Yes, please. Yeah.
How many days for this?
How many days for the? You are breaking.
I think someone is asking how many days for this course is there? How like
2 months
months,
course from Monday to Friday, every day 1.5 hour class. Which DevOps course to choose for our career? AWS DevOps, Azure DevOps, please choose one. Jitendra, like I said, If you learn one cloud, you can work on any cloud. Here in the previous slide, like I have shown you, I have chosen the tools or the cloud technologies which are very widely used. Same is the case with AWS. AWS is still the first cloud provider or the cloud provider of preference. First, AWS is the one preferred. So that's what I'm covering here. I would say AWS DevOps.
Preeti Sridhar here. So how to practice it, because we don't have test case and we don't have any codes, right? Because
See, I'll provide you. That's what I'm here for, right? We will be
okay.
doing all of this on some application. Okay, we will have some code base available on GitHub. We will develop CI/CD there. Also, where we have test cases, we'll be automating them. Everything practically we'll do. Theory doesn't work for DevOps. Even if you learn, just listen doesn't work. You have to put your hand, you have to make your hands dirty, right? How to set up the lab, everything will be done. You don't need to set up lab on your own system. We'll be setting it up on cloud so that you can have your own lab at your own pace. You can do the hands-on. How to do all of that, I'll talk about it. See here, continuous builds using Maven, continuous testing using some test cases like Selenium, whatever it is, right? Then Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform for deployment and containerizing the application, right? And then monitoring it with continuous monitoring tool like Prometheus, Grafana. And again, feedback sent to the respective teams. This is the CI/CD in short. See, you can see every tool here. Do you see every tool? Git, Jenkins, Maven, right? Some test automation tool, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform, Prometheus, Grafana. How to build this? Building this pipeline takes some days, takes some month. Here we'll be building this pipeline on two applications parallelly. Like we'll be doing it on simple Java app. Also, we'll be doing it on a microservice application. What is microservice application and all we will discuss. This is just an overview here. Okay. Today is just intro or overview for. Can you all see the screen? Manoj says your screen is not visible.
Yes, we can see. We can see.
Yes, we can see.
Manoj, please check from your end. You might have minimized it. Please open, click on the Zoom.
Yeah, it is visible
Okay,
for me.
see? All right, thank you. So you can
Bottom.
implement this on any platform. It's not just on cloud. It could be on-prem. It could be on any cloud. That's why I have written AWS services separately here, right? You may be having, companies may have their own data center. It could be on-premise servers, physical servers, or else it could be on AWS infrastructure. Your cluster may be on Kubernetes, or else your cluster may be on on-premise physical centers Kubernetes cluster.
What is cluster?
Sorry, Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a
What is
cluster.
clusters?
Kubernetes. Just a second, I'm sorry.
Preeti, apart from cloud, can you teach how to set up the infra lab in laptop?
Yeah, I'm coming to that. Dinesh
Okay.
says, ma'am, Kubernetes works for. See, Kubernetes is we call it as a Kubernetes cluster. It is for high availability of the applications. To minimize the downtime, to make your applications highly available, Kubernetes is used. Okay, similarly, Docker for containerization, Kubernetes for high availability and auto scaling of your application. Ansible is for configuring the infrastructure. Terraform is for provisioning the infrastructure. Prometheus for monitoring, Grafana for visualization. You know Selenium, it's a test automation tool. We will run those test cases automatically here. Okay, Maven is for building the application, building the code. That's just one-liners. We will, like I said, right, here so many tools are there. We will zoom into each section. In the next class, we will start with Git. We will go in depth of it, learn it, master it thoroughly, then integrate it with the Jenkins, then learn Jenkins, then zoom into this section, then this one. So we'll be concentrating on each part here and build this pipeline day by day. It's not in one day we build this. Okay, it takes months to build this pipeline. One after the other, we'll slowly build up this pipeline. Making sense? Dinesh, how is it? Dinesh's question is how it will be highly available application. How means I should teach you Kubernetes, right, Dinesh? So allow me some time. I'll teach you how it will be available on Kubernetes. If you learn Kubernetes, you will know how it will be available. So yeah, this is about a brief idea on how your pipeline works. Yes, we are going to implement this CI/CD on multiple applications, Prakar. That's nothing but the project. Multiple applications, we will be building this CI/CD pipeline like how you do in your projects. Okay, all the real scenarios will be covered, right? And one more thing is, yeah, some of you are asking about lab. I will show you all of those. Just give me a minute. Please stay back, okay? Don't leave. I'm showing you the important things now. Complete real scenarios will be covered, Mohammed. And tomorrow, one more thing. The classes, this is a demo or intro, right? Classes begins from Tuesday. Tomorrow, as I'm joining a new company, tomorrow I'll be a bit busy. So tomorrow I'll not have a session. But from Tuesday, we will be having a classes regularly from Monday to Friday. Okay, that's one update. Another thing is
Same time, 7:30?
Same time from Tuesday. As I am unavailable tomorrow, as I'm taking a new position in a new company, tomorrow I will not be available.
What about opportunities?
Yeah, I'm coming to that part. First, I'm showing you the lab. Okay, see here, this is the Google Drive you will be getting access to. Okay, each tool were here, including the presentation which we discussed today. Every day, this is the presentation we discussed today. Interview questions, sample resumes. Apart from these interviews and sample resumes, if you go to my website, for every tool, thank you, Utkarsh. Here, if you just go here, yeah, sample resumes, lab assignments with the real scenarios. If you go to this DevOps lab assignments, right? Each tool is listed here with all the assignments. Let me take you to Git. If you go to this, yeah, here you can see scenario-based questions as well. One second. I think, yeah, it was here. Those are assignments which you do. Here, if you see, again, interview questions, okay, complete lab material. And if you go here to the Git, see here, beginner level, intermediate level, advanced, and scenario-based interview questions on Git. Same is the case with every tool. You have all of this. You will get access to this once you enroll, right? So scenario-based questions, like how the questions would be in the interview. Apart from the questionnaire available here, you have a lot of things on the website. You have a quiz portal, which is very important. You might be thinking, why do you need a quiz? Because nowhere they'll keep the quiz. This is to assess your learning every day on the topic. This is to assess your learning. Quiz portal. Again, the portal on each tool. If you go to Git, see, multiple quiz to assess your learning every day. You have to take up this. We'll get the results. That's how you can validate, assess yourself on regular basis. Right? So interview questions, scenario-based questions, complete assignments were here. Apart from this, also you will get access to this LMS, learning management system. Every time this will be updated with the new interview questions, new resumes, or new scenarios. This will be keep on updating. Even after your course, you will have access to this, which will be really helpful for you, particularly if you are taking up interviews and all, as I get this feedback from my previous students. Okay, again, coming back here, even this was available here also, but let me show you here. You have lab set. See, we will be using Linux instances, means you don't need to buy a Linux laptop or else install Linux or else have a Linux VM. We will not set up anything on our personal laptop. because personal laptop, it will consume the resources. It may be just we have to manage everything. We will be doing everything, means we will use our infrastructure from cloud for our lab also, so that you will also get exposure to cloud like how you do in a company, right? So we will be setting up a lab on AWS, so that also it's a free lab. We'll be creating a free account. How to create a free account on AWS, how to use it, all of that I'll show you. So don't worry. So that you can start your lab at your own pace, maybe at your midnight or at your daytime, whenever you are free, whenever you are comfort, you can use this lab for your convenience. So we will help you setting up that free lab, which you can use at your own pace, at your convenience. Nothing will be installed on our personal system except a small Git. That's a very small tool. I'll show you how to install it. That will be there on a majority of the systems, I believe, if you are using a working, office laptop. So that's one thing we will do. See, Linux, Jenkins, every tool is here with a complete documentation. If you see Kubernetes, complete commands, hands-on, everything is there. Also, it's there on this portal. Okay, you have access to both of them. Apart from this drive, additional things will be there on this portal. Okay, that is second thing. Next thing, some of you are talking about the course, right? What are all the topics we'll be covering in Kubernetes and also on AWS? Let me show you. Here is the course content, and here are the reviews of the students. You can also go through it. Syllabus. We should, oh yeah. Okay, let me go here. Yeah. When you go here, you can see it in the documentation as well. All the topics we were covering, Git in what are all the things we were covering in Git. Of course, this is not updated one. Actually, you have one more on the website, which is the updated course. Just a second.
Preeti, after this course, how long will be that access will be this portal?
Yeah, you will have this access to this portal, this drive, recording sessions will be provided every day. All of that you will have lifetime access. Okay.
Lifetime access.
Yeah, here on the website, you have the updated course. See here, Docker, content, Kubernetes. This is EKS. Kubernetes, I have placed it separate. See, this is for Kubernetes. This is for EKS in particular. Both are same. EKS is a managed service on AWS. I have just segregated them for much clarity. Okay, all these things like Helm. You can see Helm here, rolling updates, blue-green deployments, Canary, Helm, package manager, right? Deployments with a dashboard and Prometheus setup with Helm. Okay, and Kubernetes, advanced features in Kubernetes like cluster auto scaling will also be covered here. Okay, and some of you are asking about AWS services. Here are some of the AWS services. ECR, ECS, EKS, which is a paid service, will also be covered. I'll be covering it from my end. So even those, and these are all other AWS services. Code build, code deploy, code commit, code pipeline. Yeah, code pipeline, even all of those will be covered. You have the course content here. You can also go through it.
Preeti,
Any more questions, or if I missed any other, if I just missed answering any other questions, you can feel free to put your question and remind me, please. Yeah, tell me, please. Some of you are asking.
Preeti, prerequisites for this course to complete
No
the DevOps course.
No prerequisites for this
Like
course.
any coding, any SQL.
Not required, not required. Here we will be learning Linux basics. Actually, that should be a prerequisite, but because like I said, I have students from different backgrounds. I don't want to put any prerequisite because I'll be teaching, I'll be covering that in the course. Linux basics will be covered. Okay. Linux basics, also shell scripting will be covered. No coding knowledge will be covered. We'll be writing, we will be covering here how to write the manifest file and all. We will not write the code like developers do. We will have templates, we will take it and we will prepare our Kubernetes manifest files. Remember, there might be some wrong notation or wrong guidance, or else maybe misguidance from different areas. But let me clear you, DevOps persons will not write the code like developers do. They will write the Kubernetes manifest files, Terraform config files. They can get the templates from the official document and we will use them. That's all. But you don't write them from the scratch. Here, additional bonus from this course is we will also tell you how to use ChatGPT as your assistant for DevOps tasks. Be it writing a Terraform config file or be it for writing a Kubernetes manifest files, they were all templates. You can very easily write it. We will also show you how to manage them with a ChatGPT, how you can use ChatGPT for your DevOps issues or for your DevOps help. You don't need to rely on some other person for that. How to do that also, I'll show you.
Great. SQL also, so that means SQL is not required.
SQL is not required. SQL is a database thing, right? Developers will not write the SQL queries and all.
Preeti, like what type of projects we have, like rules for the DevOps implementation or support projects, or what type of projects we will get?
We will have projects, different companies will have different type of projects. Like some of them might be, let's say there is a project, but no DevOps is implemented. You have to, DevOps team, they will form a new DevOps team. They may have to create these pipelines from the scratch. Okay, they have to create the pipelines from the scratch. Okay, so they have to install Jenkins, they have to install Kubernetes, they have to create the CI/CD pipeline. They have to build up everything from the scratch. That is one set. Second one is already pipelines might be there. Already the tools were there. There might be issues coming up like so-and-so pipeline is broken. Some stage is failing. This build is not happening. So that's a support role. It depends where you fall into. You might be providing support or you might be providing the actual DevOps implementation.
In general, two types we have, right? Implementation and support.
We have both of them. There were so many implementation projects. There were so many support projects.
Okay. Okay.
Better, see, first, if you work in implementation, you can support it better. Generally, like, isn't it? If you know how they were implemented, you can support it. But of course, people directly step into support also because that's how role will be offered. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Anything is fine.
So Preeti, if in case if we miss some classes, like due to some meetings or health issues, so how that classes will be covered? Like, are we going to just go through the recordings, or do we have access to your future classes also?
Generally, if you miss any class recordings will be provided every day, even though you miss or you attend. For everyone, class recordings will be provided on regular basis. You can go through it, come up with the questions. There'll be a separate WhatsApp group created, not the existing one. You will be moved to enroll students will be moved to separate WhatsApp group. Okay, so there you can post your queries. And yeah, we will answer them. Like yeah, others can answer, even I'll be answering it. That's how you will get a support. Still, if you feel like you missed this session, you want to retake, you can retake in other batches. If you let us know which class you missed, we will let you know the date and time. You can attend those sessions. And let's suppose you have to discontinue this batch for some reason or something. You can also retake in the upcoming batches till 1 year. Okay, till 1 year, you can retake in the upcoming batches. You can re-attend in the upcoming batches. Course duration.
Preeti, you mean to say like there is a free access to classes for 1 year in any of the batches, even if I miss or do not miss? Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
You will have access to the live sessions. Recordings will be the same. Anyway, you will get the recordings of this batch, right? So there also same topics will be covered. You can attend the live sessions till 1 year. Okay. And course duration is for 2 months, Vicky. Placements and interviews will help you build your custom-made resumes. Like when if you explain your projects, your experience, if you want to showcase in DevOps, will help you how to build your resume and explain your current role into DevOps. That part we will do. Okay, course duration and all we will explain. Course resume preparation, how to explain your projects, we will explain that. And coming to the placements, we will forward your resumes. If you have any referrals in our circle and all, we will forward that thing we can do. But let me tell you, when you compare with any other tools and technologies, DevOps has got good number of calls. You might have known that also, right? So if you add these tools in your resume, If you learn it, if you put your effort and expertise these tools, you don't need actually any referrals or anything. You will get a good number of calls to prove yourself. Only thing is you need to put your effort, honest to yourself, put the dedication, time, and learn the content, master the things we were doing here. That's all you have to do. You don't need to worry about other things. Learning DevOps itself is a already you are through. You are halfway through. You are coming to this class means you already reached your goal halfway through because you have chosen the right technology. You are already interested. You have the dedication. Now you just start learning. You are halfway. You have already reached your goal halfway.
Preeti,
Preeti,
as
like-
you're mentioning about the custom-made resumes, based on the job description of the organizations. Let's suppose, I have made a resume wherein I have mentioned the networking projects and I have uploaded the same on my Naukri profile. And there comes a scenario wherein, I am applying for a hospital management organization wherein they have the hospital management softwares. Can I change my resume, the existing one?
You can change it. You can change it. See, what I mean here is, let's suppose you are a developer for 7 years. Okay, you want to switch to DevOps and you want to showcase 4 years into DevOps. Okay, let's say you mastered these skills. How to explain your previous role that you have worked as DevOps engineer? The same project, your development project is there, but how to explain that you have worked as DevOps engineer in that project? That help we will do and prepare your resume accordingly.
Okay, but
How
we
to
can
explain
say,
your same project? You are into some project. How to explain the same as a DevOps engineer, or how to claim that you worked as DevOps engineer? That part we will do.
okay, but we can change those projects in our Naukri profile, right? I mean,
You can.
if someone has already downloaded our a previous resume,
This is your updated resume. You haven't updated them
and
properly.
if they download the new one, will they be asking questions? We have your previous resume in which it shows the networking projects, and the
No,
new one it shows the hospital management projects. Will there be any conflict?
no. You will be like you are updating your resume. That's all. At that time, you did not update. That's not your updated resume. That's all. That will not be any problem. Abhishek, if you need any certification guidance, yes, we'll help.
Certifications we required to prerequisition certification for the claiming some experience. What are the main certifications we required?
Certifications are not mandatory, Srinath. Okay. Your experience, your expertise is the one mostly required. Not the certifications are not mandatory. Certain companies, as they have their client requirements, they may look for certifications. Otherwise, it is your expertise. Certifications are not mandatory. I would suggest to go for certifications once you gain experience or expertise. Then you plan for certification. Also, that should be your priority as per your project requirement. Like, let's say already you are into this project, they were looking for certifications, then you can take. Otherwise, first concentrate on expertising the subject, then certifications.
Okay.
Preeti, I was
The
asking you about the resume part.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Hi, Preeti.
I
Actually, I
asking
just
you
saw.
about the resume part. Wherein, my previous resume mentions about the networking projects, and if I want to add the hospital management projects or other projects, and if a recruiter has already have the previous resume, will there be any conflict, Preeti?
It depends on how you explain. Okay, you can say that this is your updated resume. You did not update the resume then. It's your updated resume. You have all rights to update your resume. But like they will also validate it, right? Due to the checks and all. So yeah, you can update your resume. It will not be a problem. But it's not with the same recruiter. Isn't it? You share some resume with the same recruiter at the same point of time. Means few days back you have sent one resume to him. Next week you are sending the different resume to him. It doesn't work. If it's a different recruiter or a same recruiter after some time or next time you are going for it, that's fine. In 2 days you can't
this is
change the
Raj.
whole resume, right? Simple logic.
Yeah, this is Raj. I can explain that. See, normally the request, they will maintain your database for 6 months. So you can change that in that one. And another thing is, if you already selected or you already go through your interviews, so at the time they will maintain your database. So until unless, so it's not nothing to happen. You can change your resume and you can try for that.
Hi Preeti, this is Jitendra. Actually, I saw few people, like few companies that are especially looking for Kubernetes or Docker. So, is there need to do any specialization of the tool, or after this training, I can able to manage those things?
After this course, you can work on those tools very much confidently. No issues in it. Everything.
No specialization.
No.
Okay.
No.
Preeti, like
No
exactly
special
like
courses required.
yeah, exactly from the which year the DevOps came into the market, Preeti, like so it's almost from the decade or like before.
Like it's almost like a decade from 2013 or so, I think.
Okay.
And Preeti, this is Monish. Wanted to ask, how is AWS solution architect related or different from DevOps?
AWS solution architect is more on the cloud, means they just manage the cloud infrastructure, not the DevOps. Means they work on cloud platform to manage the infrastructure, they work with the services and all, not the DevOps approach.
Okay, because I had joined one course and I was in the middle of it, but I'm feeling that it's going nowhere. So is it necessary to devote my time and resources to both or just focus on DevOps?
See, both are two different courses, Monish. So you can decide which one you want to. My suggestion is only cloud will not work these days. Means just cloud solution architect. These roles are going to be merged. Means like DevOps persons, if they're working on these AWS services, they'll be managing the entire cloud environment. So they will not be a separate role for cloud. These roles are going to be merged very sooner or later. So one should know if you are working on cloud, definitely DevOps strategies are required. DevOps course is required.
Preeti, can we able to download that record section and the notes?
Recordings will be available on YouTube with private access. So I don't think you can download YouTube videos, but you will have lifetime access. There is no point of downloading it and again storing it as consuming some space on your disk.
How will AI impact DevOps in the future?
AI, see, automation is helpful. Like I said, ChatGPT can be an assistant. ChatGPT is an AI tool, right? It can be an assistant, but it can't replace DevOps engineers. It can be like an assistant for you. Like I told you, right? I'll also show you how to use ChatGPT for these things. That way you can use. But if you don't know anything, a person with a blank mind or zero DevOps knowledge can't use ChatGPT, any AI tool, right? He should be first deciding whether this particular set of configurations work or not. So AI will be an assistant kind of, it will not replace the role completely.
Preeti, like usually what will be the size of DevOps engineers in a project? Preeti, like how many people will be there?
Those depends on the projects and applications, Reena. There might be support roles, there might be implementation. There are different things, right? Also, what is happening in the project, it all depends. Number always varies. If you talk about support, if it is 24 support, there might be different teams working in different time zones in rotation and all, right? So, or else if it is implementation, there might be a fixed time. There might be separate people who work on Kubernetes cluster. There might be separate separate team working on CI/CD pipelines. If the work is huge, it depends on the amount of work, the application and all.
Hi, Preeti. I'm not sure this is valid question or not. Is DevSecOps is it different from DevOps?
DevSecOps is integrating securities in the DevOps strategies. Like whenever we implement anything, we should also take care of securities, right? Like if you talk about Docker, their vulnerability checks, all of that should be maintained. Correct? Like when you use some image, you should do some integrating them in the pipelines in the DevOps is nothing but DevSecOps. Mostly SecOps is concentrating on security best practices when implementing the pipelines or implementing the automation tasks.
Got it.
Will we touch base the SecOps topics in this course?
We will be talking about security best practice of each tool, but not as a separate subject. When we talk about Docker, yes, we'll do Docker secure best practices, Kubernetes security best practice and all.
Okay.
So, any other questions? Anything else?
Hi, Preeti.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I have a career gap of 5 years after my education. So how will this help me?
I think Raj
have
can
to go
help
as
you on this. Okay, he's a better counselor for all such questions. You can also reach out to him personally, like how you can mold your resume or how to showcase your experience in DevOps. He can help you with that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Can you please say Raj's number?
Sorry?
Can you please share Raj's contact number?
Sure. I'll share it here in the chat. 1 second. The number, it's there on the website. This is the number. I'm sharing it here. Can you see the screen? Yeah,
Yes,
this is
Preeti.
his
You
number.
can see, yes.
This is his number. You can call him or you can message him on the WhatsApp. I'm also putting that in the Zoom chat. You can expect a good rise in the salary, Alan. Okay, for DevOps engineers, yes, 30 to 40% hike is given. It depends. It also depends on your expertise you show. So if you master these tools, if you learn them properly, yes, you have good exposure to them. You can expect a good hike.
Preeti, it's open source, right? Open source, right?
Yeah, majority of the tools are open source. Yes, that's another advantage for
Preeti,
DevOps.
like as a DevOps engineer, our role will be development and operation in between, right? And where the AWS will come into the picture?
May I know who is this?
Ajay.
Okay. See, Ajay, this is DevOps is like once the application is developed by developers, okay, we will be working on automating the whole part of deployments to production. Okay. So we will be working on automation process of taking this application to production. In this process, there were different tools, strategies implemented. All of them comes under DevOps. Right? It's not that only like it comes between development and operations. It's like the way you automate the whole process. This we have discussed in the beginning. I think you may have missed it.
Preeti, are we going to get interview and job support?
Oh, you are 1 second. Ajay, you are also talking about AWS, right? See, DevOps is a strategy. Sorry, I missed that part. So it's about the methodology, right? The automation part. This automation can be done on your servers, which are on your own data center. Means your servers could be on-prem in your own data center, in your company's data center. Or else your infrastructure might be on any cloud like AWS, DevOps, and AWS, Azure, GCP, and so on. Right? So irrespective of your infrastructure, like whether it is on your on-prem or on cloud, DevOps could be implemented. The same strategies, the same tools works there. So it's irrespective of
I got it. This makes sense. Yes.
It's a strategy which can be implemented on any platform. Okay. Yes, Roshan, you will get the recording. Okay. After some hours, a couple of hours, the recording will be processed and we'll upload and share the access. After this course, you can claim up to 5 to 7 years experience also, Prathamesh. It depends on how much expertise you gained. Means depend on your practice, depend on your confidence, you can claim your experience. Generally, a safe would be 3 to 4 you can claim. If you master it, like you just excel the course, then you can put more also. Generally, otherwise 3 to 4 years you can.
Preeti, the home screen will be that Linux environment or any other separate?
Linux. We'll be doing on Linux infrastructure on AWS. Initially, Git will be starting on our laptop. It could be Mac laptop or Windows or Linux laptop, anything. We'll start Git on our own laptop. Eventually, we'll switch over to Linux on AWS.
Preeti, can we have do we expect Raj sessions also wherein he will be counseling for the people who have a career gap and who are from other domain?
Sure.
Can we expect that session from Raj, the counseling
Sure.
session?
You let us know how many of you want that session. Okay, we will arrange a separate sessions over the weekend from him so that you can clarify all such queries. Okay, you just, how many of you wanted, you just let us know in WhatsApp or here in the Zoom chat. So depending on the number, if it is a good number, we can have a separate Zoom sessions on over the weekend, or else you can directly call him and talk to me if it is just 1 or 2 people. So let us know how many of you want that session. Also, once you enroll, after that also, if you need any such counseling sessions, definitely we can have those sessions with Raj.
You have only the weekdays batches, not weekend batches, right?
Not weekend batches. I'll be available from Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 9. And we'll be providing support over the WhatsApp. If you have any questions, if you are stuck up, I'll be supporting that during my work also. But that would be on and off. Like immediately, I may not be able to respond, but team will respond. Raj is there. Other team members will respond. I will be responding whenever I'm available. Okay. Over the weekend, you can have a session from me.
We have any interview or job support as
Like I
well?
already said, interview questions we are providing completely. Okay, you can go through all of that. Those are more than enough for facing an interview. And resume preparation, I told you, that way we are providing for your job support. Also, we will forward your resume for our referrals. If you have any referrals from my end or from other referrals, if you have, we'll forward it.
No, Preeti, I mean to say job support means like getting into DevOps, like after getting a job into DevOps, like if the task, we get some task,
Okay,
do you?
okay, dedicated job support, like after job support.
Yes, yes.
Okay, after job support, dedicated job support, I'll not provide from my end as it doesn't like I can't accommodate in my schedule. But at that time of your requirement, if anyone from my team, from my circle is available, I can forward it. That would be a separate kind of thing. But one thing I would like to say, if you learn here properly, I can assure you that you can work independently. So believe that and keep that in your mind. Don't go for supports because nowadays everyone is going for office. Everyone is being called to office. In couple of days, like maybe by next year this time, there'll be no work from homes, I believe. So learn properly so that you don't need to rely on others. Also, you save a lot of amount for that.
Absolutely.
So for that, how to learn properly, how to expertise, we are here to help you. You should put your dedication, time, and your open mind. That's what I'm requesting from the beginning. So plan accordingly.
Do we have any evening classes after 7
No
o'clock?
evening classes. Like I said, it doesn't, I can't accommodate that in my schedule.
Okay.
What is the course fees, Preeti?
It is 15,000 rupees. You can also, regarding the fee, also you can talk to Raj over that. Okay, how to pay, like anything else you have, you can talk to him. I have shared his number. It's also on the website. This is his number. You can reach out to
Preeti, Kumaran here.
him. Hi, Kumaran.
Preeti, I have one question. So, as you said, you will be teaching some application and all. So, development of application. So, it is not Hello World, right? So, it is a proper application or how it is?
It is. What is that?
See, a few of the people that are teaching the Hello World, how
Oh,
to paint
hello
Hello
world.
World. Yeah.
Okay. Hello world. Okay. Here I'm talking. I'll be showing it on Java Maven application. That's one application. First, you should be starting with that application. Then we'll be talking about microservice application, PHP DB at the backend. I can also share you another applications if you want to try from your end also, like your own homework kind of if you want to do. See, one more thing here I would like to tell you is for DevOps, application doesn't matter much. Means it might be hello world, it might be something else, but the scenarios are the ones that are needed. Meaning, either it is hello world or it is something else, you have to containerize it, right? So that's where Docker containers. Let's say you are learning Java. Let's say you are a developer. Then you have to concentrate on what application it is. Okay. But for DevOps, the application matters very little. Only thing is whether it is microservice application or whether it is monolithic application. Here in my course, I'm covering both. Okay, that's where the difference comes in. Until then, whatever be the application, we don't have we don't have anything or much to do, because like I said in the beginning, right? Earlier, developers used to hand over the application. I mean, hand over the code directly to ops teams. But now they containerize it. Once you containerize, what is inside matters little. A very little it matters, a very little for you. What matters you is once it is containerized, how you are deploying on Kubernetes, how you are providing high availability, how you are doing auto scaling, which deployment strategy you are using, whether you are using blue-green deployments or canary deployments, or how you are managing security of your Kubernetes, how your Docker file is made. This is what matters. Your application matters very little here. Got my point, Kumaran?
Yeah, I got it.
So maintaining high availability, how it is available, managing your infrastructure in Ansible. Managing your infrastructure with Ansible means how you are configuring 100 servers, how you have written your Ansible playbook. These matters. Application matters a lot. Your application could be anything. Configuring your infrastructure is where you are concentrating. So yeah.
Let's say I have enrolled the course. Can I get a previous batch recording so that
you will get this batch recordings, okay, for you. Everyday class recordings will be provided for you when you enroll for this course. If you have any particular special requirement, like you are asking for old batch recordings also, like you may have some interview, a particular topic you need or whatever, you can get that. You can also check with Raj for the same. All the access, all these things you can connect with Raj.
okay. See, I've attended this Git and all, so I know Git, so I don't want to waste my time. So I can go for some specific like Docker. So I want to.
Yeah, you can talk to Raj and yes, you can get
Okay,
that.
fine. Okay.
And Prathamesh says any mock interview support. Prathamesh, if anyone requests for the mock interview session, we can provide you that on request. Because
Yeah,
many
that
of them
will be
will
a
not be
better
looking
one. I
for
mean,
it. One second, many of them, or let's say we are 30 people. 30 people want request for mock interview sessions, right? So if anyone requests, on request, we can provide you that. Yes, Roshan, you are saying something. Please go ahead.
The mock interview. I mean, if anyone approaches you and if you want to go through the mock interview, no, if you could be an interviewer and asking the relevant questions, since you have the real time experience, that will be much more better.
Sure. If anyone
And
requests, we'll have to plan the schedule and we'll do that. And also the interview questions which you have in the drive or here were like not just the copy and dump from everywhere. Those are the majority of the interview questions which I have drafted from my interview experience. Like I sit in the interview panel. So that's how I made some of them. So those will be really helpful. You can go through them and attend the mock sessions to validate you.
And can we expect some other task from you, Preeti? I mean, while running the course, so that we can come out of our comfort zone. Since you will be training and we'll be practicing the same, and if we come across any doubts, we'll go through the recording and we'll clarify. But if we were put in a situation wherein if you give some the out of comfort task, we could able to do that. I mean, can we expect those things?
Yes, everyday assignments will be given apart from the things done in the class. If you want, you can come out of it. I can dump you with a lot of things as in the project. You will be overloaded with all of them. If you want, yes, I can also provide that. Yes, definitely.
Priti, the course will be only offline or online also? Online only, offline also.
Only online, Ajay. No offline. Only online. All right, then I think, we can, that's all from my end for today. Okay, go through the recorded session, get in touch with us. There's a WhatsApp group where you are all in there. You can post any of the queries, talk to Raj, or you can also talk to me. Yeah. So see you all on Tuesday. Next session will be on Tuesday morning, same time, same link. Anyway, link will be again posted in the WhatsApp. So get in touch with us.
Sorry, Priti, I just joined now, so I want to know what is the fees of this course.
It is 15,000 rupees, Anshul.
Okay.
Yeah, again,
EMI
regarding
option
the
is
fee,
available.
huh?
EMI option available.
EMI, can you check with Raj on this, please? You can connect with Raj. The number I have shared in the Zoom. Okay, I'm sharing it again. Regarding fees, regarding access, okay, anything else you have regarding your resume, anything you can talk to him. Also, let us know how many of you need those counseling sessions from Raj. Like Roshan have confirmed. If anyone else anyone else needed it, please confirm here so that we can arrange it.
Priti, I have one query. Okay, so so we have experience. Sorry, I have experience on 7.5 years in testing. Okay, so if I learned, okay, then how we can project this thing and also how it will be calculated. So yeah.
See, you are in testing. Out of those 7 years into testing, we can put, let's say, 4 years into DevOps. How to explain the same project that you worked as a DevOps person, how you worked as DevOps engineer on the same project, you will understand through this course. Also, we can help you explaining that to you personally. That's what custom personal resumes will be prepared as per the custom requirements as well.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else from anyone? All right, then we will close here and see you all on Tuesday morning. Thank you all for spending your valuable time on your weekend. That means a lot. Wish you all a happy weekend and see you all on Tuesday and get in touch with us for any other updates or queries. Thank you all. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.